Good morning, my people, my people. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora machismo. My people, it has been another beautiful day for our protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's fame. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you enslaved the African American, the Latinos, etc.? There is nothing particularly interesting that I should bring to your attention as it relates to my protest. And as you know, when I have finished protesting and I've brought you an update as to what transpired while I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring to you something of a social nature as it relates to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My people, Vincentians are very naive people. I was surprised at the level of surprise and disdain that our people had when they discovered that Ralph Gonsalves' declaration in 2001 that he was going to make St. Vincent and the Grenadines ungovernable if he and his party was not elected as Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They thought that Ralph Gonsalves' declaration of making St. Vincent and the Grenadines ungovernable was restricted to the protests that he encouraged the unions and the unions members of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to get involved in that broke the laws of our country. When they discovered that Ralph Gonsalves had several criminal groups of men scattered about St. Vincent and the Grenadines, some of whom he gave firearm, and they were instructed to shoot people at will. Even those people who came out in support of Ralph Gonsalves, who blocked the traffic, and were a part of the roadblock revolution, could have been killed or seriously injured, them and their families. They were shocked. They were shocked that Ralph Gonsalves would have gone so far, that he would have given men in St. Vincent and the Grenadines jerry cans of gasoline and instruct them to light successful businesses on fire, to destroy those businesses. They were surprised. I cannot tell you how many cells Ralph Gonsalves had in 2001. I only knew of 2. And if there were 2, there would have to be more, because he declared he was going to make St. Vincent and the Grenadines ungovernable. And from this fact, we know that 2 cells would have not made St. Vincent and the Grenadines ungovernable. Now, the people who supported Ralph Gonsalves was willing to ensure that they were injured or killed so that he can become Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He got the opportunity. He became Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He made a mess of things. So the question is, what Ralph Gonsalves is willing to do to ensure that all of the big mess that he made of the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, all of the illegal deal that he did, remains his personal secret. What is he willing to do? Do you think that he is going to walk away peacefully? No. When Mr. Wickham said that Ralph Gonsalves was preparing for an uplift of violence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and he was trying to put the blame on other people, I could not remain silent, because guess why? The men and women of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are my people. They are people who I know personally. And if I don't know them, I would have known their parents, their brothers and their sisters. So how can I, a leader of people, sit back and allow a criminal like Ralph Gonsalves to use other criminals who he have enslaved to bring death and destruction to the people that I love? I cannot sit back and do that. I have brothers and sisters still in that country. I have nephews and nieces that I love dearly. I have friends that I respect and elders who looked out for me. Even though some of them are dead, their children are there, I have an obligation to every one of them. I could not remain silent. The truth must always be told, and those who have planned to start violence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they must be held responsible. My people, it was a good thing that there was a peaceful changeover of government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2001, because if Annem Eustace became Prime Minister, many Vincentians would have laid dead in the streets of St. Vincent and the Grenadines with the compliments of Ralph Gonsalves. Many of your children would have died. Many of you would have been injured, some seriously, with the compliments of Ralph Gonsalves, a man who would have killed to become Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not knowing how government works, not understanding how to develop small island economy, and made a mess of things. And now he is trying to do the same thing to stay in power. I could not remain silent. The people who entrusted me with this information would have known that I have not betrayed their trust. But guess what? There is a bigger picture. There are people, even them, those people who were involved in 2001 and their families could now be in danger. I could not sit back and be a leader of men and allow this to happen to the people that I love, the people that I have dedicated my life to. No, I could not. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. I'll talk to you soon. Remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to this channel. And there are many other videos of this nature here that you can view and learn about the things that are happening in our country. Talk to you soon.